My name is Edmund Yakani, Executive Director of CEPO. I would like to take this opportunity with high respect to amplify my voice loudly on a serious note to the attention of leaders and members of various youth armed groups across the country who might have stood up as a community defense force in the face of the ongoing country political stalemate or political instability, or stood up because of the continuous deadly armed confrontation between communities which are either driven by individuals who like to champion and who like to entertain armed deadly cattle wrestling, or where community feel their safety and security is not being fulfilled by the state and they stood up as an alternative force to provide safety and security to their communities. We have recently clearly seen a public order or a public warning from the Chief of Staff of South Sudan People's Defense Forces, warning these groups to lay down their arms, and some were directed to vacate a specific locations like fishing site at the border of Jongole and lakes, or other locations where the leadership of South Sudan People's Defense Forces saw that these youth are there. And some are already described by the leadership of South Sudan People's Defense Forces at the office of the Chief of Staff as an enemies of the state because they are threatening the state peace and stability. My message also goes to the attention of Chief of Staff of South Sudan People's Defense Forces that we need to urge both of you, the leadership and the membership of South Sudan People's Defense Forces, the leadership and the membership of these various armed youth groups, for instance, you can name them as Red Bell, among others, that any escalation of violence among you, the two, SSPDF and the armed youth, being it in Bor, being it in Tonj, being it anywhere, it causes a disaster on the life of the common citizen. It means civilian safety, security, and protection will become under attack. And this is dangerous. As we are aware, since 2013, our common citizens are paying a very expensive price because of our attitudes of military solution to our political differences or to our grievances that we have towards each other associated with the quest for peace and stability. We must stop military solution to political disagreements or to any form of disagreements or misunderstanding, because military solutions does not gain anybody. It makes all conflicting parties pay a very expensive price. At the same time, the common civilian pay a very expensive price. Therefore, as an activist with high respect and honor, I'm appealing to Chief of Staff of South Sudan People's Defense Forces. I'm appealing to the leadership of the various armed youth groups that we have seen likelihood confrontation may take place in Jongole between the SSPDF and the Red Bell, and already we have seen a military striking against the armed youth in Tonj East, and we are expecting more to happen in other locations in similar manner. Our appeal to you is, as a civil society, we are ready to offer a space for dialogue between you, the conflicting parties, the various armed youth groups versus SSPDF in the country. It's very important that we talk to each other. That is very important. On a separate note, I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate the leadership of our law enforcement agencies, being it SSPDF, being police or national security, for successful disarmament in Juba. We have seen the types of the guns you have collected in Juba town. We have seen the numbers that you have collected. We appreciate you to continue doing an exercise where you amplify the collection of the guns in a transparent manner. What we are demanding from you with your remarkable work of collecting arms in the hands of the civilians, whether in Juba or outside Juba, is also for you to tell us how are you going to administer the management of these guns. Because the same guns that are collected now, in few months, we will find them in the same hands of the civilians. What is going wrong with the storage and administrations of guns and bullets across the country in various security institutions? So our appeal to CDF of South Sudan People's Defense Forces, to IGP of the police, to the Director of National Security and other leaders of the security and defense institutions, that this positive and remarkable work you are engaging in disarming people who are carrying arms illegally in their hands require proper leadership. Management and administration of rifles or guns and bullets is very important in the country. We also urge communities that whenever you ask that, please try to give out your arms, try to offer your arms on a good faith note so that at least our safety and security become the absolute responsibility of the state. But also I'd like to call upon the state agencies that sometimes you see armed groups that merge in the communities as a youth armed groups or whatever armed groups or people are carrying rifle is when citizens are losing trust on the role of the state in offering safety and security, or their protection is being neglected by the state agencies. That's why people resort to that. But we are also aware that the economic situation we're in the country encourage some people to have criminal minded that they need to have access to gun in order to loot what we call as unknown gun men. But some of them are also for political reasons. Some people want to cause chaos, and that's why they're carrying rifles. All in all, we appreciate the leadership of the security institution in having a successful disarmament. And we have seen the type of the rifles that were being collected in the hands of people who we describe as illegal holders. And some of these guns are bought by our revenue for our security institution. Then the question is, how do they find their way from the stores to the hands of the civilians? It's very important. Finally, I'm appealing to the leadership of SSPDF at their various capacity, field commanders, CDF, whoever is in SSPDF. My appeal also goes to any leader of any other armed youth groups across the country, any other armed rebel leadership across the country, armed rebel group, that please embrace dialogue rather than using military strategy for your grievances. Military strategy, it will not help us. It will make us pay a lot. But also, we all need to commit ourselves to ensure that our safety, security, and protection is a collective responsibility. We should not use the barrel of the gun to claim for safety, security. We are losing our country. We are losing the credibility of our independence if we continue confronting ourselves militarily as we are seeking solutions to our grievances, being political or whatever the case is. Thank you very much.